I have an entire yard full of projects. Gotta totally redo that thing. The 1952 Ford 8N needs a new radius arm or weld that one. My one owner 67 Mercury commuter station wagon needs a fuel tank. And that's exactly why I bought a Prius. Now, before you start saying that I'm a dork, that I don't make good decisions, please note that it's been flooded. Not crazy flood water, but down on the floor. And I don't know if you guys have... Oh, it smells like a dead bass in there. That's acrid. Oh, I'm lightheaded. At least that piece is broken. Smells like the backside of a beagle unwashed. After 4 burritos. This just all comes apart back here. If you look real closely down in the nooks and crannies, you'll notice that no water got back here at all. So, right in this area is the 420 volt hybrid battery. There's my 12 volt. I've been charging that. I got it to the point where it goes into neutral, which is a step toward completion. But I had one that just like this that was kind of maroon. I think they called it salsa red. I was always embarrassed to call it that. It is salsa red, salsa roja. But I'm gonna get this thing going and you guys are gonna be along for the journey. It's gonna be a quick video, but I'm gonna try like hell to get it going. And if it doesn't get going, I'm just gonna like take the catalytic converter off of it and sell that. Take the battery out, sell that, scrap the rest of it. They normally bring about $200 to $300 just in scrap value. But like I said, it smells more like an Atlantic cod stored in a tube sock in a gymnasium locker room. But there's a display up there that says park reverse neutral. Now I can get it to go into the neutral position, but see the big red triangle of death? If you're a Prius person, you know all about those. Put it back in park. Also, if you'll notice, there's an orangey red light on that. If everything was cool, that would be green. And it's not. So I have an app I can download. I wonder what that thing is. This one is so much like my old one, but lens wipes. A tooth thing. This is a lot like my old car. I had one very similar, but if you've never seen one of these, you talk about utilitarian. Glove compartment. Pretty cool, huh? Glove compartment. Pretty cool, huh? Console. Pretty cool, huh? Is that a banana? Down here. Another place. Down here. What was that? Another one. Huh? So I'm not. Ooh! Ooh! Ugh. I'm gonna have to use some needle nose pliers to get that thing out of there. More places for stuff. There's so many places for stuff. These are actually really good little cars. Excellent cars. Oh, another place for stuff. Imagine that. Well, let's get working on it. The very first place we want to go on this is this cover. We're making progress. There's a fuse right inside here. This is the actual, what they call the fusible link. And I have to look at that a little closer, make sure everything is all cool with that. We also have to check these fuses over here on the end. I'm going to check every single one in the car, but that's where we start. If you'll notice, the rest of the area down here does not look like it had stuff on it. Normally all of the little connectors and clamps and stuff would have been really corroded by now because it's been a few weeks since the flood happened. That makes me feel positive about it. Had to run a couple of quick errands. Some of you guys, if you're around this area, Apollo Beach, Tampa kind of area, may actually recognize this property. Torino, 68-ish. Yeah, this is a pretty rare car, and it looks like it's been sitting right here. Torino GT. Oh, I love those wheels, always have. And the fastback, very NASCAR inspired. What a cool car. Look at that exhaust on there. I think that's aftermarket, but I'm not totally sure. Yeah, that's a cool car. In typical Florida, man, you don't think there's much rust on it, then you start looking closer and there's rust, definitely. Look at that huge package tray in the back. Yeah, that's cool, man. GT center caps. I'm gonna have to come back and try to do some sort of research on this. I'm assuming this was maybe the preacher's house, because it's like, there's the church, but it looks like everything's just been sitting for a while. Not even sure anybody lives in the house. The grass is mowed. Huh. Flash forward next day, AC compressor jamming behind me because it's still 90 in Florida. Had it sitting on the charger all night. Took this critter off of here. Saw a video that said I should do that. Take these 3 plugs out to make sure it resets. I'm now going to hook the battery back up and see if it changed anything. In the video they said that it could potentially erase codes and things. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Let's hook it back up. I have no idea what just happened. I went in and checked every single fuse, put a little WD-40 on every single connection in the fuse box, went back to the battery, disconnected the 3 plugs, disconnected the battery, let it sit overnight, hooked it back up. I hopped in the car just a few minutes ago, and the engine and battery and inverter is all working. The only thing I don't have is there's absolutely nothing on the dash. Holy crap! I knew there wasn't a whole lot of water in here. I knew that there was just a little on the floor. It's just enough to make it stank. And holy crap. I'm driving this around and the engine's firing up. The battery's working the way it should. We just got ourselves a pretty good deal. I took a big chance because, you know, when you get a flood vehicle, don't take this as like, oh, the flood vehicle, they start everything. No, this is rare and it still might have some issues in the future, but everywhere I looked, all the stuff that matters, all the electronic stuff and relays and battery oriented stuff, and there's not a single bit of water on anything that matters. So those of you who watched me with my last Prius, I owned that thing for several years, recently sold it to a buddy of mine, and this thing, I'm gonna drive the wheels off of it, because those of you who have had a Gen 2 Prius, you understand. Those of you who haven't, go out and buy one. If it needs a battery, just get a battery. There's a local place here called Green Tech, TEC, and that's in, I think it's Clearwater, Florida. But man, you could get into one of these cheap and it will get stupid gas mileage for the rest of the time you own it. Thanks for watching, guys. This one is a score for us. Sometimes you got to take chances and sometimes they absolutely don't work out. But this one absolutely did. 60 MPGs, here we come. Maybe not 60, but in the 50s.